Moving on, Indian women may be participating a whole lot more in health insurance. That's the word coming in from Chennai-based Star Health Insurance just ahead of Women's Day this weekend. In its latest trend report, the insurer has reported a significant shift surrounding the participation of women in health insurance. In fact, according to data from the insurer covering a sample space of 10 million women, the number of women opting for preventive health checkups has grown 127%. What's more, younger women, those aged between 21 and 30, account for 28% of new policyholders. This even as premiums paid by female policyholders have soared 37% year on year. The insurer reports that wellness is booming too. Telemedicine usage has skyrocketed 21-fold, while 65% of women policyholders are opting for long-term policies. Further, in the age of digital platforms for insurance purchases, 83% of female policyholders, the study reveals, continues to take advice from insurance agents before a purchase. So to break down some of these insights, I am now joined by Anand Roy, MD and CEO at Star Health Insurance. Anand, good to have you with us here on South Central. My first question to you, preventive health checkups among women. Your study says they've grown by 127% overall and 143% growth for those aged above 40. Do you see this marking the start of a significantly enhanced awareness when it comes to health insurance among women?
Yeah, Julian, thank you so much for having me. Always a pleasure to be on your show. And I think, as you rightly pointed out, the heightened awareness of preventive health, prioritizing wellness before actually an illness is something that we are noticing in the data trends amongst the women that we have insured. You'll be happy to, it's a pleasure to let you know that more than 10 million women are covered with Star Health Insurance in this financial year so far. And it constitutes almost 40% of the overall population that we have covered. So more and more women are definitely buying health insurance. And through your channel, I just wanted to, kind of make this awareness as we come to the Women's Day on this Sunday. I think it's very important that we bring more women into the fold of health insurance. And yes, the 140% growth in preventive health checkup through the women policyholders is something which is very, very interesting. We are also promoting preventive health checkup amongst all our policyholders, and the adoption amongst the women seem to be on the higher side. So these are good signs, and definitely we should keep driving this agenda.
You know, Anand, another interesting statistic that I'm picking up from your study is that women now represent 21% of new retail policy primary holders, and that 28% of these proposers are aged between 21 and 30, signaling earlier adoption of health insurance. Fair enough. But that figure of 21%, still quite subpar, you reckon? There's a lot more potential there.
Absolutely. I think the potential is much higher. I think, but we have made a good start. We have this dedicated women's health insurance plan called Star Women Care Insurance Plan. And this is now the third largest selling product in our portfolio. And so 21% women buyers also means that 1 out of 5 customers are women customers. So I think definitely it can be higher, as we know that 50% of the population are women. But these are encouraging trends. And amongst the younger women folks, we are seeing, almost 28% buyers are below the age of 30 years of age, as compared to men who constitute around 22% in the same age profile. So higher number of women, younger women are buying health insurance. I think that's very, very good. The products that we have kind of covers the entire spectrum of the age profile of women, when they are young and entering into the workforce. And when they get married and start a family, the products cover maternity, and also nowadays our products cover the IVF and, surrogacy treatments and so on and so forth. So there are different life stages of, the journey, and the products that we have covers all of them. So I see, more and more adoption of women happening in the days as we go forward.
Right, and I also see that female premium contributions have risen 37% year on year. Now, is this necessarily a case of more women opting for better coverage and health exigencies, or is this more a case of health insurance becoming a lot more accessible and affordable owing to that GST overhaul that took place not more than 6 months ago? Or is it a case of both, Anand?
I think it's a factor of both. We are very thankful to the government for having waived the GST on health insurance, on individual health insurance. The 18% waiver, which has been passed on fully to the consumers, is also leading to the growth of health insurance penetration. And we have seen, a five-fold increase in the sum insured, which women, customers are buying over the last 5 years. Today, the average sum insured bought by women in Star Health is almost 10.5 lakhs. So I think this is something encouraging and also driven by the awareness about the importance of health and the affordability factor which has been created because of the waiver of GST. I think this is a matter of both. We are also seeing, women buyers buying more and more multi-year policies instead of annual plans, which is also adding to the security blanket, so to speak, for a longer period of time.
So last question then before I let you go, what's the way forward? You've already said there's been a five-fold increase in the quantum of sum insured surrounding women buying health insurance. Where does it go from here? That 21% figure of new women policy holders, is that figure likely to increase? And if yes, by how much?
I think, Jude, in the typical Indian society, the women are the conscience keeper of health. And I think, as more and more awareness of health insurance spreads into the smaller towns and cities, I think women buyers will be the key, stakeholder in terms of decisioning of health insurance purchase. So companies like Star Health, we are creating products and services which are custom made for the women and their family at various age groups and disease profiles and also income profiles. So I think the 21%, that is one out of five women, 1 out of 5 customers are women. I think that should increase and that will be our endeavor.
Well, Anand, let's just hope that ahead of Women's Day, we see a lot more women opt for better health coverage and that enhanced awareness around women's health becomes mainstream. So we leave it there at that, but we appreciate you joining us and breaking down some of these findings.